So what happens if the only emotion dude knows how to express is being the provider or something of that nature? This happens probably more than you think because, okay, men are usually not taught how to express emotions, feel emotions, or share emotions. Now, don't come on here thinking you about to get some 40-minute stretch routine. You're just in my space right now as I stretch. I can probably say until I had my daughter, I didn't realize that there were other emotions that I had to explore because I don't want to blame society, but we're never just shown what it really looks like. And with therapy, prayer, self-awareness, journal and reflection, I had to come to a conclusion that, there are other emotions that I have to explore. And let me tell you right now, that junk is scary, right? It's scary for a man to be like, hey, I'm not usually one that cries. I feel like crying, or I'm not usually vulnerable, or as Jason Wilson would say, emotionally open. I want to explore that. And the reason why it's so weird is because you don't know where to start. Like, you don't know, like, if you say that, if the person is going to actually laugh or reject you, you don't know what they're going to say. And I'm pretty sure, like me, we've all had our shares of explaining or expressing some emotion, and it didn't turn out too well. So I want to give you some ideas that you've probably known, but I want to give you some ways to start expressing emotions, what you're feeling, without beating up on yourself if you don't get the response you want, and where you can keep doing it. I'm gonna always say the first thing that worked for me, may not work for you, but worked for me, was praying, talking to God about, this is what I feel, this is what I want to feel, I don't know how to get there. And a lot of times, you'd be surprised, a lot of times God either sends somebody, or he sends like a book or a message that you're on the right track and what to do next. One of my things was when I got into therapy, I was just stone cold, like didn't want to share anything. And then I asked myself after one session, why are we here? Are we here to prove to the therapist that you're not crazy? Like, you can be dealing with stuff inside, not be crazy, but you're not the best version of yourself. So I said that to myself, and then the next therapy session, I just opened up. Hey, I felt bad that I never had a dad. I felt that I didn't learn a lot of things as a man that men should learn. I didn't learn those things by not having a dad, and I'm angry at that. And that opened up a lot. But prayer is usually the first one I'm going to say. The second one I would probably say would be journaling, right? Journaling has helped me greatly. I say journaling because it's free. You can do it wherever. You can do it often. And if you feel really, really nervous about it, you could journal and then throw the journal away in case you don't want anybody to read it. Journaling helps. Just writing out what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you want to happen, and all of that. Journaling helps. The third one would be finding a trusted friend or somebody who you feel is a good listener, right? The reason why I say that is because sometimes just releasing it to another human being, you don't realize how much freedom that gives you. And if they're a great listener, they're not going to sit there and probably ask you 70,000 questions, or they're probably not going to be interjecting every 30 seconds or so to say. So find someone who's a good listener who can listen to you. Praying, journaling, finding a good listener. If you can, get a therapist, that would be great. But just realizing that as a man or as a woman who's listening to this, Men are usually not taught those emotions, so they can't just turn that on magically. Women are taught to talk, to be with community, to share, all that stuff. Men aren't taught that. We're taught to be a man, provide, and that's really it. This is why you see like older men who they're usually just like in the same place they were when they were younger emotionally. Yep, they provided, they had a blue collar job, they provided, but then they can't even talk about their emotions. They can't even cry. And I believe if we start realizing that men do need help and embracing these ways to get the help, I believe our world is going to change. I believe we're going to be in a better place. That's my spiel for the day. Be great.